Our objective today is to factor trinomials in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. So it's very similar to yesterday, except we have an a in front of that x squared. So that does change our steps a little bit, makes it a little bit longer. Our steps are to multiply the first and last. So that means we're going to multiply the a and the c. Step 2 is we're going to factor, just like we did yesterday. We're going to find two numbers that multiply to that and add up to the b. So two numbers that multiply and then add up to b. Our third step is divide. We're going to divide by that first number. So whatever that a is, we're going to divide by it. We're going to reduce those fractions, and then we're going to move. And so reduce and move are the last two steps. We use an acronym. My father drives a red Mustang to help us remember these steps. Multiply, factor, divide, reduce, move. So multiply, factor, divide, reduce, move. So let's work through a problem. 6x squared plus 11x plus 4. In step 1, we multiply 6 times 4, and we get 24. Then we have to factor that. We need two numbers that multiply to 24 and add up to 11. Well, I know that 3 times 8 is 24, and 3 plus 8 is 11. Then what we do is we divide by this 6. So divide by 6, divide by 6. So we've done the multiply, the factor, we're at the divide step, and so now we have to reduce. Reduce means simplify these fractions. 3/6 simplifies to 1/2. 4/6 simplifies to, or 8/6 simplifies to 4/3. Then we put x's at the bottom, and we read going up. So 1 over 2x is the same thing as 2x plus 1. 4 over 3x is 3x plus 4. They're plus signs because that 1 and 4 are both positive. If we do FOIL, or multiply, using our distributive property, 2x times 3x is 6x squared. 2x times 4 is 8x. 1 times 3x is 3x. If we put those two together, we do get our 11x, and then 1 times 4 is 4. Okay, so number 2. 2x squared plus 17x plus 21. We multiply 2 times 21, and we get 42. Two numbers that multiply to 42 and add up to 17 are 14 and 3. Our next step is divide by this 2, so divide by 2, divide by 2. And we're going to simplify or reduce. 14 over 2 reduces to 7 over 1. 3 over 2 can't be reduced, so we leave it like that. You put an x on the bottom, and then you read going up. So 1x plus 7 and 2x plus 3. Now this 1 in front of the x, it doesn't really have to be there. You could write it as just x plus 7 and 2x plus 3 and have the exact same answer. That 1 doesn't have to be there. Okay, so problem number 3. Now we're going to throw in some negatives, so that makes it a little bit more tricky. 9 times positive 4 is 36. We still factor. Two numbers that multiply to 36 and add up to negative 15. So 36 is 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9, 6 and 6. So to get a negative 15, the only one that'll give us any kind of 15 is that 3 and 12. But in order for that to be a positive 36 and that to be a negative 15, both of these have to be a negative. So negative 3, negative 12. Our next step is divide by that 9. So over 9, over 9. And when we reduce, negative 3 over 9 reduces to negative 1/3. Negative 12 over 9 reduces to negative 4/3. We put x's on the bottom, and we read going up. So negative 1 over 3x is 3x minus 1. Negative 4 over 3x is 3x minus 4. And again, we could check it doing our distributive property. 3x times 3x is 9x squared. Negative 1 times negative 4 is positive 4. And then our middle, 3x and negative 4 is negative 12. Negative 1 and 3 is negative 3. And that makes negative 15, so we do have the right answer. Okay, so our next problem, number 4. 3x squared plus 11x minus 4. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. So this time we need two numbers that multiply to negative 12 and add up to 11. So that would have to be 12 and 1. Now because this is negative, one of these has to be a negative. The only way to have one of these be a negative and that come out to be positive 11 is 12 and negative 1. So 12 and negative 1 are our factors. Then we divide by 3, divide by 3. 12 divided by 3 reduces to 4 over 1. Now I put that 1 there to help me remember that I have to put the x down there. Negative 1 over 3 can't be reduced. So I put my x's and I read going up 1x, or just x, plus 4, and then 3x minus 1. Okay. Problem number 5. 4x squared minus 15x minus 4. When we multiply, 4 times 4 is negative 16. We need two numbers that multiply to negative 16 and add up to negative 15. The only way that can happen is with 1 and 16. In order to get a negative 15, though, that 16 will have to be a negative. So our next step is divide by 4. Divide by 4. Reduce if you can. 1/4 can't be, but negative 16 over 4 can be, so we do. We reduce that to negative 4 over 1. And remember, I just said I put that 1 there to help me remember that's where my x goes. Put your x's on the bottoms and read it going up. 4x plus 1 and 1x minus 4. And again, put the 1 or don't put the 1. It doesn't matter. Number 6, 7x squared minus 3x minus 10. 7 times negative 10 is negative 70. Because that's negative, that means one of our two factors will have to be a negative. So when we do 70, it's got to be 10 and 7. That's the only way to get a 3 there. In order for that 3 to be negative, the 10 has to be negative, the 7 is going to be positive. We divide both things by 7 because that's our A, and we reduce. Can you reduce negative 10 over 7? No, there's not a number that goes into both. 7 over 7, though, reduces to 1, which really means 1 over 1. Put your x's on the bottom and read going up. So 7x minus 10 and x plus 1. And remember, if you're not sure if your answer is right, you can always check it doing distributive property. 7x and 7x, 7x squared. 7x and 1, 7x. Negative 10 and x, negative 10x. Negative 10 times 1, negative 10. And then when you put your like terms together, you end up with 7x squared minus 3x minus 10, which is what our problem was. So that's how you know you have the right answer. Your assignment on this is a worksheet. You'll have to get it. If you were absent, you'll have to get it when you come in the next time. And that's it.